Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness, brought to you by DraftKings and their app, Pick Six. Sign up with code Madness6 for $50 and free credits. This is LZ. I am here with Nick. Today, we're going to be covering our bases today. We're going to be talking about the Wemby jersey drama that has been going around the hobby, where a father, that Wemby jersey, he wanted to sell it, and then he had seller's remorse. We're going to get into that. There was a really
A wild
funny,
saga, man.
but funny Cheeto, a legitimate Cheeto, a snack, a Cheeto sold on Golden Auction for lots of money. And we're going to get
I
into
still got to
that.
figure out if that Cheeto it came out of the bag that way or if it was formed.
It
You
was
know?
formed, like it was melted down and formed, but we'll get into that one.
Yeah, all right.
And then finally, we have some good news. There is some good in this hobby, Nick, and we're going to be sharing a good story that's related to our collections and
Yes.
our VIP party during the National, but we have some good news on that
Good
front.
news for
So,
you.
oh, it's good news for all of us. It's good news for
I'm
everybody.
kidding. I'm kidding. It is good
Good news
news.
for everybody. Yes. All right. So let's get into the Wemby jersey drama. Can you set the stage for the audience who maybe
Yeah.
hasn't heard about this and what happened and
Let's talk
what
about what
this
happened
jersey's
here.
all about? Yeah.
So, father and his son are at a game that Wemby's playing in. They had floor seats or close to floor seats, something like that.
Mhm.
And really cute kid, like Wemby came up after the game and they did a jersey swap. So the kid had a Wemby jersey on that's like, size small or whatever. And
Yeah.
Wemby's got like, I don't know, they
Right.
think they make enough X's for whatever
I think
jersey.
he's five. I think he was 5 years old. So he's like 2.5 feet tall versus a 7 foot
Yeah.
tall person.
So he holds up the jersey. I think he signed it too, but it was game
Yeah.
worn and Wemby signed it
Mhm.
and they did a jersey swap. And it was actually a really cool moment. And then like 48 hours later, Ken Golden was like, I got the jersey. And people
I
were like,
know.
what?
What?
And people got mad. Jeff Wilson got really fake mad about it. Like,
Mm.
that fake mad where he starts
Well,
fucking
I
them.
would say the most upset that we've ever seen him, Nick, with all
Yes.
the drama that's been going
That
on in the
includes
hobby.
backyard with
This
pedophile
is
piercing comments that, the
yes.
most upset he's ever been
Mm.
is like, and that sucks, and he's ruining for everybody out there. And it was just
Mm.
such he's Chris Berman, man. Like back, like that's who he is. So whatever, he's our cartoon character.
Okay.
So Jeff got really mad. Everybody got mad. And we were like, Ken got another jersey, man. Come
Mm.
on. Um,
I
if
don't remember, Nick. Did we get mad because we talked about it? I don't
I
think
was
we
just about to
did.
ask you, how did you feel at the time?
I don't remember getting mad. I just remember
Mm,
saying to myself, like, well, we don't know their situation.
exactly.
And maybe this guy is doing this to build a college savings for his child, and this
Yeah.
is the way to do it. So I actually, if I recall, I didn't cast any stones to him because you don't know
Yeah.
people's situations. Actually, that definitely was it because I remember Jeff's reaction, and I remember being like, "That feels a bit over the top. Like you don't know this guy's situation.
Yeah, you
You
don't know.
don't know it."
Just for the audience, we're going to tell you how this actually takes a dark turn in a minute.
Yeah.
But before we get there, so that's how you felt. I was
Mhm.
similar. So I have sold autographed cards that I've gotten signed at games, either because I just got bored with the card or I was cleaning space out and a save. And if I did that, I can't feel bad about this because it's a
No,
very similar
sure.
thing.
Mhm.
Um, it's his choice. He was given a gift, and you are legally allowed to sell that gift. Now, yeah, does it ruin it for other people down the road? Possibly. Wemby did a tweet about it with like a sad face. Now, that probably wasn't Wemby. That was probably one of his like dozen agencies that
PR
managed.
people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
regardless, I'm sure word got back to Wemby that this happened, and I'm
Mhm.
sure it will affect him doing this in the future. But the kid got it first. So,
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah. All right. So Golden gets it. He
Golden gets it.
consigns it with Golden.
Uh-huh.
And what happens?
And then the day the day of the close of the auction.
Okay.
I,
So
I
like
don't know when this
hours, like
episode's
8 hours before.
Yeah, let's just say it was a few Saturdays ago.
Yeah. Hmm.
Auctions all end at 10 at Golden on Saturday.
Hmm.
And like that day, it's like buyer's remorse. Like he wanted it pulled. And he was trying to like,
Why do you think he wanted it pulled? Was it not fetching as much as he thought?
I don't know. He
Yeah.
reached out to me personally. I was
Mm.
going through some crap at the time. And I was
Mm.
like, listen, I just can't handle this right now. Otherwise, we would have had him on the show.
Mm.
Um, but maybe we'll get him on or something at
Yeah,
some
maybe
point.
we
But
should.
he
Yeah.
said, he told me he felt like there was deceptive business practices by Ken in signing up the jersey
Mm.
and potential. I don't have any
I don't know.
visibility. I'm not even
I
going
don't
to get.
know.
I didn't
Yeah.
look at the contracts. I didn't sign them, so I can't say. But
Mm.
that's what he said.
Okay.
I don't think Ken clapped back at all. So who knows if it's about price or it wasn't getting. It was weird. It felt weird to me, almost like maybe he actually felt bad that he was going to sell this and like his son wasn't going to have it anymore, possibly.
Right. Yeah.
Um, what did it sell for? It was like I saw it. It was at like 60 or 70.
I don't think it
Uh,
went for that much.
yeah.
Yeah, like it was somewhere around there. Like you would have thought, oh, maybe it's gonna go for 100 grand. I think it was in the 80s, maybe
And
70s or
here's the
80s.
kicker. Here's the kicker, man. Now there's a lawsuit. The guy's suing Ken Golden. And I saw the papers posted somewhere and Probstein was on our show. And this is what scares me. If we ever wanted to consign something or have a
Mm.
consigning business, if you ever promise somebody or say, like, I think this can get 250 grand, you can get taken to court over that and you can probably lose. So if Ken somewhere promised a price, and again, I have no idea. Okay.
Right.
I don't know if he did or didn't. I don't have any
And if he
visibility.
did it verbally or if he wrote it
Yeah.
down, like you just
Not
don't know.
not my
Yeah.
business, but I'm just
Sure.
making conjecture
Right.
here. So if he
Hmm.
did, then this could be a court case. And so
Mm.
now I imagine we're gonna have some public updates on this, and it's pretty wild, man.
It is.
It's all for like here's a Jersey kid.
Uh,
Like what an era we live in, right? Like it's 2025. It's like in the 80s, there weren't a lot of options. You gave a jersey and like, I don't know, maybe you sell it at like the local card show or something like that.
mhm.
There's no eBay, there's no like social
No.
media. Now everything's so complicated, like and everything goes viral and like it's just crazy to me
Yeah.
how nuts this got for such a simple gesture.
It's a really good point, Nick. Like back in the day, like you just kind of let the other company take it on and whatever they get, they get. But now you're able to see everything. You're able to see how much marketing they're doing for that jersey,
A
right? Maybe
live
you're
price.
upset. Maybe you're upset that they weren't doing enough publicity for it, and you're seeing the actual bids come in as opposed to the last bid, right? You're
Yeah,
seeing,
stressful.
oh, geez, I thought I'd at least get 150 for
In the
this thing,
80s,
and it's only,
that's on the phone.
yeah,
They don't even
yeah,
have, you don't have email yet. Okay. So this
no,
80s is a phone call
Hmm.
to Heritage or, somebody, maybe, I don't know, Sotheby's, whatever auction house it is at the time. It's a bunch of phone call auctions.
Yeah,
And
that was really good advice by Probstein. I remember when he told us that when Rick when Rick brought that up, he's like,
I know.
I will never tell a customer how much I think
Smart
they'll get
dude.
for
Prostein's
it.
is wicked smart.
Yeah.
Wicked smart guy.
All right, let's talk about the next. Geez, we're giving Golden a lot of this. Is like we're giving Golden a little too much
It's time for
publicity
Ken
here.
to get it. So Ken and I talk we talk like once a week now.
Yeah,
It's time. He wants to come on. We're going to make it happen. He's just busy. So we'll get him on.
yeah. All right, Ken. Well, we're gonna give you a little more publicity right here with
So
this.
before we talk about the card thing, man, how are
Hmm.
you doing with your 86 Fleer set up until this good news? Where are you at? What cards are
I
you
was
missing?
4 cards away.
All right, it's MJ.
Before this update,
Mhm.
MJ, the 57 MJ.
Yep.
It
What
was
else?
the Pat Cummings.
Pat Cummings,
It was the Mike Mitchell
Mike Mitchell,
and Albert King.
Albert King, and all autographed. And those are the
All
four you need to
autographed.
complete your set.
Yes.
Stickers and base. All right.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why
And
do
here
you
we
ask? Do we?
are.
do we-
I forget half the time.
Yeah.
You forget, by the way.
Hmm.
You didn't realize you needed Albert King until
know,
like
that was
a month and a half
terrible.
ago. So I think
Oh.
this is a helpful exercise, LZ.
Yeah, you're right. You know what the scary thing too is? I was thinking about it a couple days ago. Like, I wonder if there's another one that I'm missing too. Like I
So
you
you
never
know
know.
what I did?
You
Here's
never know.
Here's a crazy story. Every time I start a new set, I don't.
Yeah.
I buy two of the same card by accident every
Yeah.
time without fail.
Mm-hmm.
So like I will buy if I'm going to TTM on the 1969 set, I'll buy a dead guy's card because I'm an idiot, and
Yeah.
I'll go to mail it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, can't do that unless I got an Ouija board and like a gypsy or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
And then I started the Pokemon set, and I bought two hollows of the same thing. So if anybody wants a Machamp Hollow first edition, I'll give you a good price. Hit me up. I've got two. Although
Yeah.
LZ might take it. We'll see.
Yeah, I might. I got to do some more education on that. But
So yeah, stay organized.
Let's-
Have a spreadsheet, everybody.
yeah, so more to come on the 86. Well, both of our sets. That's
Yeah.
a little bit of a tease what Nick just did there. We'll get to this in a second. Let's talk about let's talk about the Charizard Cheeto.
Okay. Perfect.
So I will set this one up. Golden had a another sale that an auction that just closed recently. It might have been the same time as the Wemby one. Apparently, somebody found a Cheeto, like a Frito Lay's Cheeto, that was in the shape of Pokemon Charizard. It's almost like that Jesus toast that went around back in the day. Like there was a bread that got toasted and you could see Jesus in the toast, right? Like
You see
this
stuff like
is
that all the time, right? You see
this
like
is
Mother
wild.
Teresa in a tree,
Yeah, like
like
in the clouds
yeah, I
or
love that,
something
man.
like,
You
like
know, I'll
that.
be on the beach looking up at the clouds and
So
being like,
somebody consigned this Cheeto to Golden. And kudos to Golden with their publicity. They pumped this thing. They were pumping it. At least the final 2 weeks that this thing went.
oh yeah.
And it actually sold for almost $88,000. A Cheeto, everybody. It was a Cheeto that was encapsulated. It was in some sort of, of plastic case.
It was this
And
guy. So for the audience, I'm holding up a
Charizard.
edition
Yeah.
Charizard.
Yeah.
And it was this in a Cheeto. Like you have to Google it to see, really. I'll
So
try to flash
Charizard
it.
is like the Michael Jordan of Pokemon, right?
Or Mickey
So
Mantle or whatever.
yeah, or Mickey Mantle. So it would be like finding a Lay's potato chip that looked like Michael Jordan
I
or
just
Mickey
want to know,
Mantle.
did this like actually come out of a bag, or did somebody spend the day like, heating this up and like forming the thing? Like
Yeah.
that's cheating. Now, if this came out of the bag like that, damn, okay, that's pretty
hmm
impressive because this thing's
hmm
got wings, it's got flames, it's got legs and a tail. Okay,
Yeah. It had
it's legit.
everything. It had the flames coming out of its mouth,
Yes,
Nick.
it did. It's legit. And Pokemon's wild right now, so like it's just like adding fuel. And I just connected with the guy who bought this thing, and he's just like making fun of himself on Instagram, like that he
We
bought this.
have to have him on. I want to
He's gonna come on.
psychoanalyze him, Nick. I want to psychoanalyze him on $88,000. $88,000 for a Cheeto.
What? And here's
Now, maybe there's a cool backstory. Maybe he works for Frito Lay. Maybe he's the one that developed the Cheeto. And like this was like
now I can
he
understand, yeah,
wanted
like a
this.
former CEO of Frito Lay. Like, so I worked at Frito for a while, for a couple of years
Yeah.
out of undergrad, and it's funny, man. I think about like touring the factories and stuff because you do that, and I'm like, man, if they're smart marketers, they license Charizard or Pokemon in general, and they just roll out. Like, could you imagine the hobby if they rolled out like special edition Cheetos bags, and like one was a Charizard bag.
Oh,
And
one
I don't
looked
know,
like Otani. One
yeah.
looked like
or like Blastoise. They got like a blue,
oh,
like Cool Ranch Doritos. They make a Dorito in the shape of a Blastoise.
yeah. What I
And
don't what's a Blastoise, Nick? What's
that's a
that?
turtle. That's like a turtle, dude. It's like a
Oh,
fighting turtle guy.
okay.
So I think they should. And what's gonna happen to the value of this thing if they do that,
Oh,
man?
it's gonna tank.
It'll be
It's
like
gonna
overprinting
tank.
cards.
Oh, yeah. Let's just try to get this guy on, even if not for a whole episode. Maybe we could just do a quick part of an episode. Let's get him on. I want to interview him. We got to hear his
Yeah,
backstory.
I
You
hear you,
have
man.
to. Where he's gonna display that thing. Oh yeah. All right. All right. So the final segment that we have is Nick. There is good in the world.
Good in the world.
There is good in the world, everybody. For those that follow me on IG, I did post something recently about how there is good in the world. So we challenged the audience a couple weeks ago with some of the cards that I'm looking for the 86 Fleer basketball autograph set, and also Nick looking for the Topps 1969 basketball, the Tall Boys set. He's looking for 3. I was looking for 4. We had an audience member, Scott, who reached out and he had an Albert King 1986 Flair autographed signed card that he hooked me up with.
Yeah.
There is good in the world. And we've had episodes even since then, Nick, talking about how greedy kind of this area has gotten, especially with some people. And the lesson learned with this one is it doesn't always have to be eBay. It doesn't always have to be these big consigners. It doesn't always have to
Or
be these expensive Facebook
one
groups.
private seller
Yes.
that gives you
It
like
doesn't.
one day to decide and tells you 10 other people have lined up money. Like, who gives a shit? Just
Yeah.
like, I mean, do you want to disclose how much you paid for this card?
No, I don't.
Okay, you know, so you
No,
got
I
it for a
don't.
good deal.
I got it for a very good deal. I didn't get it for the obnoxious prices that some people are
Exactly.
claiming this card is worth. Um, but shout out to Scott. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. We really it's we because you and I are a team, kind of trying to build these
Yeah.
sets. We really appreciate it. And he's going to our VIP party because of
He
it.
is. He is.
He
He
is.
is. It's going to be sick, and he'll probably
He
make some
is.
business deals that
He
will
will.
easily recoup,
Hmm.
whatever delta there was in the value of the card, and
Right.
that is the smarter play. That's always the
Hmm.
smarter play.
Hmm.
That's what smart people do. And Scott's a
Yeah.
smart person. He's done well. He's semi-retired on in a very nice place.
It's a
So,
very nice place. So,
in a,
what cards are you looking for, Nick?
I
Let's
will, and
remind the
I want to
audience.
talk about the
Okay.
economics of this freaking 86 Fleer situation too in a minute. But
Okay. Uh-oh. A
yeah.
little
So
fired up.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, all right. I'm looking for Guy Rogers, Bill Bridges, and Art Harris. So that completes the set. I've got the set, but like I cheated. The Guy Rogers and Bill Bridges are cuts. Like I cut
Feels
out
a
a
little
program.
dirty.
It's
Feels a
sticker
little
autos.
dirty.
It feels like I'm
Yeah.
Panini. I'm Panini.
Yeah.
I'm doing sticker autos
Yeah.
for like 69 cards.
Yeah.
And then the Art
Mhm.
Harris, I've got it signed. It's good.
Mhm.
It's just like inconclusive everywhere. And I'm just kind of like just trying to get there aren't
You want
a
one
lot
that's
of
actually slabbed,
well, it's
maybe,
tough
or
when you get to
yeah.
these cards, there's like 5 exemplars
Yeah.
ever. And he
Hmm.
signed it with just A for his first. I don't want to bore the audience. We'll lose half the audience. But
Sure.
anyway, those are the cards I'm looking for. If you got him signed, I'll make you a very nice offer and you're in for the party.
All right. And
Um,
as a reminder, everybody, Pat Cummings, Mike Mitchell,
yeah.
and MJ57 are the three I'm
All
looking
right, here's
for.
a couple
Help me
rules.
finish.
Okay.
All
When
right, let's
you
hear them, man.
are a set collector,
Hmm.
patience is paramount, okay? Just chill out. Like if you're we've seen a lot of set collectors rush, and now I know why, because they sell things because they want to put in a pool or they want to sell and grow their business or they want to sell and do something else with that. And then there's set collectors like me. I'm just like going to sit on it forever. So I have a forever timeline.
Hmm.
If you've got a flipping timeline, then yeah, go ahead and pay whatever you got to pay to flip this thing and make your money off of it. But if you have like a multi-year timeline, patience, time is the controllable variable, and if you can control time, you can control the price. Um, Prices in this non-security, which is a sports card, can be manipulated by pockets of people like Probstein owns most of the PSA 10 Jordans, right? He can manipulate the
True.
prices on. There's nothing
Yeah.
illegal about that. It
Nope.
doesn't fall under the SEC Act, okay? So who gives a crap? And so you can hoard up this stuff and buy every auction of the Fleer, and you can try to drive up prices on people and get that hoarder meets desperation bonk in the middle
Hmm.
there. The
Hmm.
problem with that behavior is that it removes a certain subset from ever being possible, ever having the possibility of ever building this set. And that's what bothers me. It keeps this set as more of a computation of money rather than effort. And I like meritocracies. Sorry if I'm really geeking out on this, but I believe in a meritocracy where if you work hard, you can kind of, or you're resourceful, you can get things. And
Resourceful,
what we
right.
just did with the Albert King is a perfect example of that. Like if you're paying more than $500 for a living player, like you're paying $5,000 for an Albert King, you're an idiot or you're lazy. So congrats. Congrats. You're the type of person that will pay somebody to mow your lawn because you're lazy or you don't want to do it. And you'll probably overpay and not look at the bill. Cool. Cool human. I think that you should have a little effort and put a hitman on Albert King or reach out to Albert King or find a player that played with Albert King. And just like through, I don't know, 1 hour of research and effort, you can get a player to sign your card. It's not that difficult. Or you can be lazy and spend $5,000 because some hoarder has them all. That's all. That's all I got to say on that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, don't apologize.
Like
Yeah,
it's just dumb behavior and don't overpay. Like yeah, deceased players, okay, you're going to see ridiculous spikes and 2 or 3 people are going to be like I sold it to Timmy for 20 grand and that's last year's price. All right, cool. What's next year's price going to look
Yeah,
like? Are
right.
you going to buy them all up forever in perpetuity? Do you have access to every attic on the planet?
No,
Do
you
you have
don't.
god powers? It's like what's great about this show and us is we have relationships with every single auction house. And you know what
Mhm.
happens? They reach out to us with stuff before it hits the public.
I'm
And
going to
so,
actually tease something to the point around addicts, Nick. We talking about this 86
yeah.
set. We are going to feature a show coming up in the near future
Oh, right.
where a lot of these cards were found, quote unquote, in an attic.
Oh,
So for
yes.
those people that are hoarding these cards, thinking that they are the only ones that have them, oh
Massive
no, no,
supply.
no, oh no,
Massive.
no,
Yeah.
no, and that goes for
Massive
any
supply.
set. We always focus on the ones that we talk about, everybody, but all of these sets, especially vintage, like there are plenty of attics and basements, everybody, and they get discovered. They do
Yeah.
get
It's
discovered.
so stupid. So as long as you're patient now, yeah, if you need to flip
Yeah.
this for a pool
Hmm.
or a business transaction and you need to make your money now,
Hmm.
then give in to these guys swinging the eggplants around. Have fun, but just try to be a little more clever, a little more resourceful, and I don't know, save 50 grand.
Hmm.
That's my advice. I think so I'll put this out there too. Just not as a bragging right, but as something that's inspirational. I put the 86 Fleer set together, including the MJs, for probably 70 grand. Okay. Now, after selling duplicates of the
So
players
that
I've made,
was 5, 4 years ago,
no, that was 2022. All right. So 22. So 3 years ago,
3 years
two and a
ago.
half years ago. Okay.
Hmm.
70 grand. If I
Hmm.
sell count all the sold duplicates and everything, um, I might even be even. Maybe I spent 20. Okay.
Hmm.
Like the extra Steve Johnsons that I sold and all this stuff.
Hmm.
And, that's worth whatever now, and it's
Hmm.
going to increase. See, you don't have to like pay these dumb ass prices. You just don't. There are other options. Look up Batna. just type in Batna into Google, and that will help you understand the concept of these ridiculous negotiations with hoarders and passionate set collectors. There's always
Hmm.
another way. And if you're having a hard time finding a card and you're worried about paying 10 grand, talk to me and LZ. We'll get you on the show, and we'll try to
That's it.
dig one up from the audience.
Yeah,
If
we
you feel
will.
like you're paying too steep of a price from
Hmm.
some hoarder, come on here and we'll help you out.
Hmm.
And I mean
Yeah,
it.
that's what we're here for.
Maybe we should do a whole episode about that. We'll get like
We
10
could.
people on and just be like, what are your cards? What do you want? We'll just rotate through them.
We
Be
could do that.
sick.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Get
Yeah.
a
Let's
bunch of
do that.
guests on. All
Because I
right.
like to help. I want like, unlike other people, I want there to be like 50, 86 Fleer sets because it's going to my son and I don't care.
Right.
So I don't want there to be five. And I don't want one person to have 20. I think that's ridiculous. And you know what? It won't happen anyway. Because I don't know. We have enough reach to prevent that now, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Cool.
We'll
Sorry.
see.
This
All
is
right.
the thing I am most passionate about in the
You can
entire
tell.
hobby.
Yeah, you can tell. Which is great. We'd love to see your passion, man. All right, let's get to the question of the day, Nick.
Okay.
All right. It has to do with cars.
Cars.
If you think about growing up, this is like 1995, 96, 97 when we kind of first kind of got our licenses back in the day.
Yep.
What was like the top car that you wanted like back in like 96?
Oh, that's
Was
different.
anything
So if it was
anything
80s,
like
all
yeah,
right.
and what stood out to you? Like maybe there was like a kid in school that like had that car and you're like, "Oh man, that car, I
It's
want
still
it."
my car to this day. So, all right. Well, I was going to say Lambo Countach, but that's like, late 80s, early 90s. Now, if
Hmm.
we do mid 90s,
Hmm.
my buddy had a Supra, okay, Toyota Supra. That thing
Hmm.
was the balls. It had a straight six engine, which it was a solid, just block. It was great.
Yep.
And we had this runway in this hometown I grew up in, and I remember we were picking up plywood. The dude guns it on this runway, and I actually felt the car like lift off a little bit. That's how fast we were going. That thing was fun, man. We took it to the beach, took it everywhere. And then Fast and Furious came out, and they featured a 97 Supra. And I'm like, oh my
That's
God,
right.
this
Yeah.
car's coming back again. And then they redid the Supra from like a
Hmm.
few years ago. It was kind of trashy looking. So I don't know, man. I always wanted to like trick out an old DeLorean, but like getting an old Supra would be pretty
That's
badass.
pretty dope. Okay. All right, for me, I actually have two. I'm gonna cheat. One is the car that I just remember seeing so much like marketing about, like back in the day, like during that time period, and I like wanted this car so bad, and it like, I mean, looking back, it's kind of laughable, but there was like a Pontiac Trans Am in like 1995, 96. I remember it black. I remember so many advertisements about it. So that one stands out. But one of my buddies had a brand new Ford F350 Power Stroke diesel that was lifted. This truck was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I grew up, I talk about how I grew up in Foxborough, right? It was a blue collar town back in the day. Like that truck was the balls. That thing was awesome. So
I
the
love big
Trans
trucks.
Am, just because of all the marketing and and the Ford F-350. Those are sweet cars back in the day.
Sick, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
dig it. I love
Yeah.
trucks.
Hmm.
All right.
All right, let's land it.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.